Monster Integration by N1. Chapter 361 250,000 merit points. I should buy a cloak when I return. I thought as I was climbing down the hill, though this long leather jacket is good, the cloak would be better. Not only they are thin but they also gave higher mobility than long jackets. I have seen many people wearing cloaks inside and outside the Fort Cavendish, so it would not feel weird. I always wanted to wear a cloak in the public and also while adventuring, but seeing no one is wearing it, I also not wore it as I don't want to look odd one out, but wearing a cloak in the Fort Cavendish is not a problem. I can now finally achieve my dream of wearing cloak in public. It has been 15 minutes since I left after harvesting mana crystals from the Ratmans. It will take me another 1.5 hours to get out of range of the Sardine Hills. There is danger till I am in Sardine Hills. After getting out of Sardine Hills, the danger will lessen considerably. Today is really something. From what I had read about Sardine Hill, that here 90% Grim Race monsters here are either at Lieutenant stage or Captain stage, and these Grim Race monsters are that of average strength, but what I experience opposite to what I've read. Not only all the monsters I've encountered are the elite ones, but there was also major level elite who can use occult skill. I don't know what I experienced today, good luck or bad luck, as I harvested fortune, but I've also suffered misfortune. In my current condition, I could only fight the Lieutenant stage monster at most, and that monster had to have average strength. If I come across an elite Lieutenant stage Grim Race monster or higher level Grim Race monster than Lieutenant stage, then the only option I will have is run. Currently, I am running through the Sardine Hills. If anyone to see that, they will definitely call me an idiot, but I have no choice. Due to my injuries I can't use my full strength, so quickly I get out this area better. There is another reason also, that no one could sneak attack on me due me having killing rule. Time passed by and I finally got out of Sardine Hills. Getting out of Sardine Hills was mostly safe except for one encounter in which the Grim Race monster and humans were fighting. When they saw me, both of them chose to ignore and continued to fight. After getting into the forest, I increased my speed even more and able to get out of the forest in less than an hour. As I touched the ground of Wasteland, I took a jump and activated my air walking skill and ran toward Fort Cavendish. On my way to the Fort Cavendish, I saw many people going back toward Fort Cavendish. They are more than 20 times I saw in the morning, and there were more as evening approached. Unlike outside, in the grim battlefield, very few people chose to stay out of the safety of the outposts at night. The reason is very simple. The Grim Race monster has special advantages at night, and some Grim Race monsters are nocturnal who only hunt at night. The night is very disadvantageous to humans, even if we use gadgets like night vision and or anything else. Those who stay outside are either crazy or have absolute confidence over their abilities. By the time evening approached I started to see the silhouette of the city, and 15 minutes later, I reached the city gates. 45 minutes later, I sat on my bed tiredly thinking about the crowd I faced when getting inside the city. This crowd was really an experience for me. I laid on the bed tiredly and stayed there for half an hour. I only get up when I felt tiredness had lessened from my body. The first thing I did after getting is to call the drone from Adventurer's Paradise to call the drone, so I could submit all the stuff I got from the Grim Race monster, like their artifacts and storages. In a week I will get a list of all things retrieved from the storages and price that Adventure Paradise offer for them, and in exchange for all that Adventurer's Paradise will take 30% either in stuff or in money. The drone will come in 15 minutes. Till then I should research about occult methods, find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. I didn't have to search for long as I got all the information I need from Adventurer's Paradise and detailed at that free of cost. Fuck. When I started to read it, curses and noises of amazement couldn't help but came out of my body as I kept reading about occult methods. Occult methods could be used by anyone, and that is why we humans are also capable of using it. Mainly occult method used by those who made the breakthrough from the night, but those below can also comprehend some percent of it. There are two things necessary for using the occult method, one is comprehension and the other is capability. Like rule power, occult method have to comprehend, but it is 10 times harder to comprehend than the rules, especially to those from the night stage. Occult method can't not be transferred electronically and can only be written or carved by those who had comprehended at least 10% of it. As for how they work, It is said that there are countless energies existed in the world and occult energy is one of them, and they can be called and used using certain method. It is not written here how the occult energy is harnessed inside the body, it's just said that one will understand automatically when one comprehended it, but to use occult skill capability is necessary. To use occult energy, one needs to have strong mental energy, strong body, and mana of above 95% purity, only then the body will able to host the occult energy. Normally human kernel stage barely meets the criteria to host the occult energy, but that energy had to be a tiny amount. If they got greedy with power and hosted more occult energy they can handle, then they will have to pay the price. This is likely to happen with that rat man. He used more occult energy than he could handle. The criteria different for Grim race, they can hold occult skill from the lieutenant stage as they have a stronger body than us humans and other secret methods. It is said humans also could use the occult method at the lieutenant stage and won't have to follow strict requirements of strong body, mental energy, and purified mana. The only condition that one has to have a high comprehension of rule power and using it make rule bottle which can store harness occult energy while using the occult method. They have even mentioned the requirement for it. Those who comprehended LV3 rule, they need to comprehend their peak level of the basic stage. Rule power just had to step away from breaking out of the basic stage. As for those comprehended peak third level rule, for them, comprehension of rule at peak level of the basic stage is enough. Those who comprehended second level rule had to have rule comprehend at high level of the basic stage, which is inches away from breaking into peak level of the basic stage. For those who comprehended peak second level rule, comprehension at a high level of the basic stage is enough. And last, those who comprehended the first level rule, just comprehension of it enough, written in the like, which shocked me. Just how powerful these first level rules are. That just their comprehension is enough to let one use the occult method. I quickly read through other miscellaneous information about occult skills to find out what I truly need, which is a way to quickly heal my injuries. After 20 minutes of searching, I finally found it, and it said there are two ways. One is to have someone who comprehended the occult method to suck out occult energy out of my wounds, and the other is to have someone who comprehended rule at high comprehension burn out the occult energy in my wounds. Fucking shit. Seeing the two ways, I quickly began the search on the web for those who offer those services in Fort Cavendish, and I found them next minute, but when I look at the price they demanded, I couldn't help but curse loudly. It is 250,000 merit points per hour. Chapter 362 Burning Eye. 250,000 merit points, why don't they just rob a bank? I shouted out loud. Asking for this much price is something, and it is just for an hour, not a full treatment. Even if I have 250,000 merit points, they would not be enough to completely remove this occult energy from my body. Now I have the only choice left, which is burned off this occult energy all by myself. It is a good thing I have Ashlyn, otherwise I would have to stay awake till I remove all the mystery's energy from my body. Dub dub. I was about to read the last remaining paragraph when I heard the sound from the balcony, only to see the blue drone stroking on my balcony. I slowly got up and opened a window of the balcony, and started to take out things from my storage and put into storage that came inside the drone. After I put away all the things inside, the drone flew away with a very fast speed that in just a few seconds it disappeared out of my eyes. There is no one in Fort Cavendish that dares to harm the drone that belongs to Adventurers Pratis. Those who dare will have to pay a high price. After returning to the bed, I started to read the last few paragraphs remaining in the document. It is said that there is 13 incomplete occult skill in the Fort Cavendish, 3 in Adventurer Paradise, 1 each in the hands of 5 S-class guilds, while rest of the others occult are different shops and organizations' hands. One cannot look down on these incomplete occult skills, even if they are written with 1% comprehension of original occult skill. That rat man had said that he had comprehended less 1% of occult skill in his tribe's tablet, but despite that he was able to bring out such destructive power. Reading this document, I suddenly started to feel trust for the occult. Anyone would lust after the power that could bring out such destruction, but occult skill are very hard to comprehend, especially to those who are within the night stage. Not only that, the merit points one needs to spend to comprehend the night skill is immense. Currently, I can't think about such amount. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. better experience please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. I closed the document after reading it and walked toward the bathroom. It is a good thing that these bandages are waterproof and covers the wounds thoroughly, otherwise even freshening up would have become uncomfortable and difficult for me. After freshening up, I started to make dinner. I would have definitely ordered it if I have merit points to spare. I can convert some amount of mana crystal into the merit points on a monthly basis, but I didn't want to spend them yet. I started to make the dinner. Today's dinner going to be simple as possible as I am in no condition to make an elaborate meal, but all the ingredients I am going to use going to be special, so dinner going to be tasty nonetheless. Within half an hour, the dinner is complete and we both started to eat, and dinner, as I expected, is simple but tasty. Ashlyn eating quickly is proof of that. If dinner hadn't been tasty, Ashlyn would have complained, showing no disregard for the condition I am in while making the dinner. After eating dinner, cleaning plates, and finishing other chores, I sat on the bed cross-legged. Now that I finished all the chores I had, it is now time to begin. Ashlyn, sleep now. You will begin when I go sleep, I said to Ashlyn, and she replied with chirp while closing her eyes to sleep. Seeing Ashlyn is now sleeping, I took a deep breath and started burning the occult present in my room. It has been hours since I last rule power the same time, and because of that I started to feel mentally weak and had been feeling intense headache, but after a few hours passed that headache is now subsided and mental energy had also replenished. Now, I can use the full power of my rule without feeling an intense headache. Chi. I started to use 100% power of my killing rule, holding back nothing. As my sunfire started to assault it at full force and I started to chi sound of something. The process may seem like fast, but it is excruciatingly slow. The occult energy is very dense and very resilient, even burning small part of it takes time. The process is excruciatingly slow and I had to keep my full concentration while burning it, otherwise, it will take more time to burn this occult energy. Currently, I am burning the energy that is present in the outer layer. It will take some time for me to burn and enter deep within the wounds. Time passed by as I continued to burn the energy boringly while changing my sitting position from time to time to release the strained muscle. The burning of energy is utterly boring work as I had to keep the full concentration on invisible sunfire, that burning occult energy which seemed to have all colors and no color at the same. It is very difficult to define what color of energy this occult energy. Hours passed, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and midnight came as I kept doing the monotonous work. The only interesting thing is that I have burned quite a bit of that occult energy, and if I keep doing that till dawn, then I might burn this energy till I reached deep within the ruins. With the passing of time, I started to feel slightly tired and because of that little sleepy, but I controlled myself thinking I have to last till the dawn. Only after dawn I will handle rest to Ashlyn and sleeve. I looked at every wound carefully, seeing if I had left any corner, and if I left it, I will take sunfire there and burn off the occult energy that is hiding there. As I was burning that occult energy, I started to notice the uniqueness of the sunfire. Though sunfire's power is invisible since my comprehension hadn't broken out of the basic stage, but still, I couldn't help but marvel the power in it. Sunfire is one of the hottest fire in the peak second level. Very few rules like Moonfire is able to contend against it. Though I have not comprehended it personally, but using it for a few months I was able to get very familiar with it. If given a few months I might even able to advance it with my comprehension. My rule of killing had advanced today. Now it is on par with the rule of sunfire in my source and no longer suppressed under rule of sunfire as it had been before. When Ashlyn sleeps earlier, I felt my rule of killing imprinting itself in Ashlyn's source. Now the rule of killing in her source and mine had the same level of comprehension, and if any of us got new comprehension in the rule, it will automatically get imprinted in others' soul. Chapter 363 Burning 2. Finally, I could see the faint rays of dawn from my gallery's window, seeing that my very tired self got energized again. I am not far from going deep into the parts of wounds. As long as I got deeper I will sleep and leave rest to Ashlyn till I wake up. Fuck. I keep burning that occult energy, and finally, I was able to burn that energy till I reached deep inside the wound, but when I saw the occult energy hiding there, I couldn't help but curse loudly. The occult energy inside the wounds is 3 times thicker than the one outside, and deepness is just starting. When I took to look inside the wound with the expense of mental energy and blinding headache, as this occult energy had an element that thwarted the mental sense, which is why I didn't use mental energy to look inside, but now I had to look inside it. I so wanted to curse loudly, but I controlled myself and took a couple to deep breaths to calm myself. Previously my estimate was that it will take 2 to 3 days to eliminate the whole energy, but now it looked like it will take at least 7 to 9 for me to eradicate all this occult energy. 9 days. The fuck, I have 9 days. Tomorrow I will get results from the S-Class Guild, accepted or not. I don't want to outside looking like Bandage Man, if possible, but it looks like now I have no choice. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Ashlyn, wake up, wake up. I shake Ashlyn as it is already dawn and I am feeling extremely tired and sleepy and won't able to last more than 10 minutes, that how spent I am. Choo choo choo. She woke up finally with the irritating chirp of being awoken while one was enjoying the beautiful dream. It's your turn now, I said. She did not reply and turned into energy and entered inside me. The next moment, I felt the power of sunfire enveloping my body, seeing that I quickly withdraw my rule of sunfire covering my wounds. Ashlyn did not cover my whole body with her power of sunfire, and the next moment her sunfire had advanced inside the wounds. I have to say, Ashlyn's control over rule of sunfire is way finer than mine. It is even better than my control over it rule of killing, which I had comprehended. Normally if others' rule power entered inside another body, one has to very careful about harming others' bodies, especially if others' party is weak in power. If not careful, one can gravely harm the other or worse, kill. Ashlyn and I share a bond, and the sunfire rule of ours is the same, so even if her sunfire went out of control in my body, it won't harm me as long as Ashlyn won't have any intention to harm me. After seeing Ashlyn is doing better work than me burning the occult energy, and laid on the without worries and fell into sleep next second. My sleep had been quite undreamless, and when woke up in the afternoon, I felt a little fine as some of the occult energy is burned off and my body felt less pressured than before. I did not waste time and got to the bathroom directly for freshening up and shower. After I came out bathroom showered, I started heating food as I and Ashlyn are both feeling hungry. The afternoon is way past our usual lunchtime. It was good on my part that I made lots of food today with the aim of eating leftovers today. So, now I just have to eat yesterday's food and lunch is ready. Choo choo. Ashlyn comes out me in excitement as I served the plates, but not before I covered my wounds with my sunfire energy, so any occult energy won't infiltrate into my body. Sleep well, you have to be up for all night tonight, I said to Ashlyn as she finished eating. Chew, she chirped and flew toward the balcony. Shaking my head, I finished all my chores and again sat on the bed, and started burning the occult energy. The whole day was dull. The only thing I did was to burn the occult energy which is deep inside my wounds. Ashlyn did not sleep first, but she only slept when late morning approached and woke up when I was making the dinner. Choo choo. Ashlyn chirps happily as she finished her special treat, as she had not only received simple tasty dinner but she also got special treat we brought from the awakening ground. After dinner, I did not immediately hand over my body to Ashlyn but keep burning the occult energy for 2 hours more till I became extremely tired. Only when I no longer able to do more did I hand over my body to Ashlyn and slept soundly. Today, I will know the result, I thought as I woke up in the early morning. 3 days will be over today since I sent my application to the S-Class Guild. In its 3-day policy, I should be able to know by morning if I got accepted or not, I thought. I hope I will get accepted in the S-Class Guild. Not only there are awesome privileges, but there is an incomplete occult method as well. Those privileges, no matter how great they are, could not compare to the thirst I have for the occult method. I quickly put away the thoughts about the occult method back of my mind, as if I kept thinking about it, I will waste a lot more time than I wished. Hun. With that, I got out of bed and suddenly I felt very light, as if walking on the feather, and when I opened one, a band-aid out of my hand, only to see my wound is showing the little sign of healing. Although, the sight is very small, but still I was clearly able to see that my injury had healed a little. I quickly concentrate on my wound only to find that sun fire, many times more than before, is burning the occult energy. Gasp. I then concentrated on my source only to see that yellow-silver feather had become more prominent. Not only its shine had increased simple, its size also increased by a bit, and it again started to suppress red ribbon of my rule of killing. Seeing this, I couldn't help but gasp loudly. What is this comprehension talent? I marveled at Ashland's comprehension power. Sunfire Rule had now reached the peak of low of basic stage and just needed a push to make a breakthrough to the medium level of the basic stage. Ashland's Sunfire had again left my rule of killing by far. I have to quickly catch up with my rule of killing, or my rule of killing will be left behind in the dust, I thought jokingly. I am very happy with the power of Sunfire increasing with it. The burning of energy, which about take more than 7 days now, will be finished in original 3 days. If my estimate is right, then by tomorrow evening, the occult energy in my body would be completely eradicated. Chapter 364, Selecting Guild. Ashland slept and I started to burn the occult energy within in my wounds, and with its power increased, I have a very easy time burning the occult energy. If I had fought with that rat man now, I am confident that I could have easily beaten with just power of Sunfire, and I wouldn't have gotten any fighting it. Even it would have fought with my power of the last move that it used against me, I would have still able to kill that rat man easily. With the advancement in Sunfire power, I have become even more powerful that very few could be my match. I am not just boasting. The increase in power of Sunfire this time is too great, as it's just the step away from reaching the medium stage of the basic stage. Time passed by while burning the energy. Sometimes I divide my concentration to look at my holowatch, waiting for the mail from S-class guilds, despite knowing that mail would come at night bearing news of my acceptance or rejection. It is ever since experiencing the power of occult skill, I had developed a thirst for it, and another reason that it is quite easy to learn occult skill in the guild than the other places. Even in Adventurer's Paradise, one has amassed quite a large merit points and merit did before one gets a chance to comprehend the merit points. As for the other organizations, it is much harder to comprehend the occult method they have than in the Adventurer's Paradise. So, if I want to learn the occult method, then joining the S Guild will be my best option. Buzz. Time passed and I was burning the occult energy at a very fast speed. As I was busy with burning off the occult energy, I heard a vibration from my holowatch. I altogether stopped burning the occult energy and just kept the protection of Sunfire as I excitedly opened my eyes. It really is. I said out loud as looked at the name of S-Class Guild on the mail. It is from Black Cloud. Their mail contains only 2 lines, but reading it my heart started to flutter like butterfly. I got accepted. They invited me to join their guild. I have to reply to them by tomorrow, otherwise it would be considered rejection in my part. I so wanted to reply just now saying yes, but I controlled myself as I want to see if I got any more invitation. I have researched quite a bit about the guilds. While 5 of them are in near equal power, the style of their working is different. I wanted to join the guild that gives more freedom. Most guilds advocate team hunting, especially when rookies are weaker, and rarely let them hunt alone. While most people like team hunting style for safety, someone always had your back, and importantly, most of the people that come to Grim Battlefield are from the organizations which also advocates team hunting. Unlike most people, I like to hunt alone, and only on the rare occasion did I go with friends to hunt. So, I want to join the guild that gave me little more freedom to hunt, and Black Thunder didn't fit that criteria. Of course, if I didn't receive an offer, I will surely join Black Thunder and won't unhappy about it a bit. After reading mail several times, I again went back to burning the occult energy in my body. Buzz. About an hour later, another mail comes. Seeing its name, I became a little disappointed. The one I had been hoping to receive an invitation didn't send me mail. Red Flag is a quite good guild, but it's filled with crazy bastards which like to take a risk. That is why if one wanted to classify guilds and see which is most powerful, then it would be Red Flag. These guys are so insane that they will do anything, and there is a popular thread about it's in the same act that on the web. 13 years ago, a team of 5 from the challenged from girls from the Silver Butterfly to kill from 100 grim race monsters from the dangerous area. As everybody expected, those 5 crazy people from the Red Flag accepted the mission and also completed the mission by placing 100 heads of grim race monsters in front of gates. It is said that all 5 from the Red Flag were bloodied till every inch of their skin, but they were still laughing when they placed 100 heads in front of city gates. It is said that the reason for their craziness is their occult skill, which is a little special than other occult skills. It is said that this skill put little insanity in them. Though people of red flag are a little insane, there is also brilliance hidden in their insanity. That is why of all 5 S-class guilds, red flag has the lowest mortality rate among their members, which is difficult to believe seeing their insane behavior. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Buzz. I was just thinking about the red flag when I felt another vibration on my hand, and when I looked down, I saw another mail. It is from the Raging Thunder, and they are inviting me to join their guilds, and I without waiting replied yes. I had been waiting for the Raging Thunder's invitation all this long. This S-class guild, which I had my heart set after reading details about it. Like other guilds, it also advocates team hunting, but unlike other teams, it gave quite a freedom to its members after one proved his strength. Though I will have to do a group mission for at least 3 months, and even after I proved my strength and got the freedom to do solo hunting, I will still have to do some team missions monthly. It suits my mood perfectly. As long as I could do solo hunting, team missions now and then are fine with me. Buzz. Sometime later, I finally received an invitation from last S-class guild Scythe, the guild who works most mysteriously, but regretfully I can't receive their invitation as I already accepted from Raging Thunder. If I had not received the invitation from the Raging Thunder, I would have definitely joined Scythe. They are mysterious, but they also have a very good reputation and know to give their members quite freedom after much time. My official joining would 5 days later, on the 10th of rookies arriving in the outpost. The guilds in the grim battlefield are stricter and have more control over their members. They have to be like this, not adventuring where one could morning hunt some monster, do some mission and return. This is the battlefield, a war zone where millions of lives could be lost if Grim Race launched a sudden, as they have the habit of doing to countless outposts. Such strictness necessary here, otherwise the loss of lives would be immense. Time passed on, the night passed as Ashlyn kept burning the occult energy, and the day came, and again, I start burning the occult energy with great fervor, and only stopped when afternoon came, as all the occult energy in my body had been finally eradicated. Chapter 365, Need of Mental Energy. My perfect skin is back, I said as I looked myself at the full-length mirror. I had just taken the bath as I did for 2 days. It can be said that I just washed, not bathed, and that was making me uncomfortable. I am only able to feel good when I took an hour-long satisfactory bath. I am now free of the occult energy, and all my injuries are healed. It is now time to think about what to for the next 5 days. The only option is to hunt. I want to hunt for the solo last time before I join the guild, as after that for a few months, I will not get any chances of solo hunting. There are only 2 days I can hunt, which are today and tomorrow. As for the last 3 days, I will not hunt on those days, as if I accidentally come across Ratman like an opponent again and got injured and not able to get to guild like Bandaged Man. So, I will have to go either tomorrow or the day after that. I don't want to go tomorrow, as tomorrow I will tour the city. The day after tomorrow it is then, that will be the day I will solo hunt for last time. Then it will be few months before I will again able to have the pleasure of solo hunting. After making plans for tomorrow, I fell into sleep, as for 3 days, I hadn't able to sleep properly. When I woke up in the evening again, I quickly made dinner and slept again, as tiredness out of hadn't gone away. I only felt good when I woke up the next morning, very refreshed and free of any load in the body. The body and mind always have such feeling, only then one will able to walk far in the way of practice. After showering and eating lunch, I got out of my apartment. My account is nearly empty of credits, and I will have to now exchange the merit points with refined mana crystals, but the number of merit points I could exchange with refined crystal is way less than refined crystal value. Every rookie who enters the grim battlefield was given new qualification by Adventurer's Paradise. No matter what your previous qualification is in Adventurer's Paradise before, you will have started with the same qualifications as rest. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Currently, my qualification is LV9. Like all the rookies that come the same batch like me, it barely has any benefits. Normally one refined core would sell for 1 million merit points, but currently, I could only get 100,000 merits, and while remaining will transfer to my account next month according to my qualification. In this it will take 10 months for me to get all the merit points from the cell of mana crystal unless I advanced my qualification. The simplest way I could advance my qualification to LV8 is to kill 100 Grim Race monster. Just killing one major stage put me into that condition. Killing 100 would be really difficult. Normal rookies would take year or more to earn that qualification, while Elite 1 takes less. I am confident that I will be able to advance my qualification in 6 with my current power. If my power increased again, then it would be even faster. Advancing qualification is very hard. Every level criteria to advance get difficult. That is why even the most powerful person in the Fort Cavendish, branch master of Adventurer's Paradise, only has LV3 qualification. I got off the elevator and walked toward one of the exchange booths to get 100,000 merit points, in exchange for 1 mana crystals. These exchange booths work similarly to that of the ones in the West Blood City, the only difference that they buy monster cores and these ones are mana crystal. A minute later I had finished the transaction, and now I have 100,000 merit points in my account. With 100,000 merit points, I walked out of my building door to tour the city. It is the night when I came back from touring the city, and amazement and resolve couldn't be hidden in my eyes. I am amazed by the service offered by the city, and they are able to amaze me to the core. I have had only heard about them in the Awakening Ground and never thought I will be able to get a chance to experience them. I am now more resolved to earn more crystal core and merit points, as only having those will I able to use those services. One thing which most impressed me is the organization called Mind Palace. They provide a course of 1 week in which one will able to increase one's mental energy. Though it is said that only 1 or 2 able last until 1 week, but those who are able to complete the whole 1-week course will find their considerable increase in their mental energy. That organization's name is Soul Palace, and the merit points or mana crystal they demand is immense. The amount of mana crystal I have is nothing but a trickle in front of that amount. At my current stage, I will have to work very hard for the number of merit points or mana crystal that the Soul Palace required. Using rule power needs considerable mental energy, and more powerful the rule is, more mental energy is required. Currently, I could only use 1 rule power at a time. Using 2 rule power together at their 100% had become impossible now, as the power of Sunfire had increased considerably. If I want to use both of my rule power at 100%, then I will have to increase my mental energy. There is no practice method to increase the mental energy like a refinement engine, as mental energy depends on one's soul. That is why it is also known as soul energy. The soul is very fragile but also very tensile in a way, and if one wants to increase his soul energy, then put stress on the soul repeatedly, that it will break out of its limit. As I said, the soul is fragile. One had to do everything is limit, and if one's too much pressure on, then he will risk injuring his soul, and it is known that injuries of the soul are most difficult to heal. It's my good luck that I know the tried and tested method to increase the soul energy. It's just that this method is very hard to do, and I haven't done in few months since its difficulty. Today, I had spent near 7,000 merit points on shopping, but I think it will worth, as they all are the thing that requires during for hunt, and most important, I brought a short cloak and it looks very good on me. I was originally planned to buy the long cloak, but when I saw the short cloak, my heart was set on it and I brought it, immediately. It is the most expensive piece of clothing I brought, but I think it's worth very much as it looks very dashing on me. Chapter 366 Practicing. Tomorrow I will solo hunt for last time. I don't when I will get chance to do that, as I don't how long I have do missions with the guild before I got the permission to do the solo missions. I have not performed the body cleansing exercise for 3 days. I have had already reached the 16th pose of the first move. Father had said if I reached the 18th pose or higher, then I would have chance to get contact with the energy of miracle fruit. I have had already wasted 3 days of time, and I don't want to waste any more time, as that miracle fruit energy is my only chance to level up quickly without paying the exorbitant price. I did not plan to waste today also. That is why I removed all my clothes except for my underwear. Taking good of deep breaths, I started to perform the body cleansing technique. Not only that, I also started circulating supreme combat exercise. This will be my first time using them together. I am at the 16th pose of body cleansing technique and on the 7th of the 21st in supreme combat exercise. In the past 3 months, I tried to circulate the supreme combat exercise, but I wasn't able to make much progress. There is immense pain, but I can handle it by gritting my teeth, but circulation is very difficult. I have to move my energy through the certain pathway of my magic veins, and that is the hardest part. It took immense effort to move the energy slightly, and it put a lot of mental strain that I just wanted to give up, and I give up most of the time, but now I don't have that choice. It is about survival now, as supreme combat exercise not only provides special vitality but it also provides barely discernible mental energy, and that is what I need. I need lots of mental energy so that I can use all my power without feeling any mental strain. Not only the new seals will provide me more mental energy, it will also make my body stronger and give me more benefits, but it is extremely hard to practice, especially after 20 seals are created. Taking a couple of breaths to calm myself down, I started to perform the body cleansing technique supreme combat exercise at the same time, and just as I did that I stopped in my spot after moving a little. Both of these methods are extremely hard to strain both body and mind to the limit, so I will be slower than usual to perform both of these two methods. I stopped for a few seconds and started to perform again. My speed is extremely slow. It is comparable to my speed when I perform 10th pose of the body cleansing technique. I started performing at slow speed, not dare to make any mistake in the pose, as if I do that, all will be for naught and I will have to start from all over again. With ant-like speed, I started performing the first pose of body cleansing technique and reached the 7th circulation in the supreme combat exercise. As I started on the second pose of the body cleansing technique, I had reached the 7th move of supreme combat exercise, and now the real challenge starts, which is to circulate the 8th move. As I was performing the second pose, I tried to circulate for the 8th move, but it is very difficult, as no matter how I tried, I wasn't able to reach the 8th. I didn't back down seeing that and kept trying toward the 8th move no matter how many times I failed. While I kept trying on supreme combat exercise, in body cleansing technique I reached the 6th pose. Daily when I practice, I somehow perform till 16th pose, but whenever I want to perform the 17th pose, I fall down as all my energy and willpower to perform got drained. Time passed as I performed body cleansing exercise at extremely slow speed, and with every new pose my sleep got even slower, but still, I was not able to reach the 8th circulation. Despite that, I kept trying. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Drip drip. Drops of sweat could be seen falling down on my body as I am performing the 14th pose of body cleansing exercise at extremely slow speed. My body is now had so sweaty that there not a part left that is dry. The underwear I am wearing had also become very drenched. It was good that I am performing on a special carpet that is absorbing all the sweat that is releasing from my body, otherwise I would fail by sliding on my own sweat. This had happened to me before, and that is why I had brought a special mat that absorbed the sweat, so it could never happen to me again. I finally entered 8th circulation. The hundreds of attempts and sweat-filled body finally paid off as I started circulating the mana according to 8th circulation, but the struggle is not over yet. At 15 pose of body cleansing technique, I felt very tired. 3 times more tired than I usually feel when I was performing the 15th pose. I am feeling all this tired because I am performing the poses slower than normal, and also because I am circulating supreme combat exercise. After starting the 8th move of supreme combat exercise, I started to give more focus on the body cleansing technique, so I could able to perform the 17th pose. 16th pose, this is the last pose I am able to perform. No matter how much I advances after that, I always failed as I became extremely tired in both body and mind. Halfway in the 16th pose, I started to feel that I had lost all my energy, and moving my body just by fraction had become extremely difficult. I just wanted to stop, but thinking about how I was able to advance to the 8th move of circulation, which I hadn't been able to do, thinking that I kept going extremely slowly, I finally performed the last past bit of 16th pose, but I am feeling extremely tired. That twitching finger had become difficult for me, and just standing had been taking great willpower out of me. If this time, even if my little sister were to push me slightly, I would fall down. Thinking of her, I couldn't help but remember the call I made to my family just a few hours ago. A smile couldn't help but form on my mouth when I thought about my family and will to protect them from any danger that comes in their way, and the grim race is such danger. If someday they intensify their attack again, then they will not only danger to my family but to the whole world. I do not have naive wish to become strongest and protect the whole humanity. I just want to have enough strength so I could protect those I love. With that thought, I screamed through the gritted teeth and started to perform the 17th pose with all my heart. As I am doing that, I noticed that the supreme combat exercise, which I had given minimum focus to ever since I reached the 8th move, had also advanced to the 9th move of the supreme combat exercise. This sudden advancement in supreme combat exercise really shocked me, but I don't have time to get happy over it, as I had just started to perform the 17th pose and I had fully performed it before it could be said to be succeeded. Chapter 367 Mutation in Miracle Fruit's Energy. Sudden advancement in supreme combat exercise shocked me, but I don't have time to get happy over it, as I had just started to perform the 17th pose and I had fully performed it before it could be said to be succeeded. My speed is slower than the ant, and every second felt like an hour. Every moment I thought about giving up, but whenever I thought about the grim race monsters and what they could do to my family, it gives me the motivation that kept me going. Gasp. As I was performing the 17th pose, I separate a strand of my mental energy and used to look inside me, and when I looked inside I became shocked seeing what is happening inside. The energy of miracle fruit, it hadn't been completely spent yet. My father had told me that there is only 50% chance that energy of miracle fruit present in my body, and only after reaching 18th pose or above will I able see it, but it seemed like my father was little wrong this time. The energy of miracle fruit did not spend, and it appears one pose before my father had predicted, but like last time its quantity is very low, and this time I will have to feed as more before I could level up with help of it. Seeing the amount of energy, it will take near 6 months if I were to feed it in normal speed, but I didn't have that much time. If I have to shorten the time by 2 to 3 times them, I will have to put many times more efforts, otherwise I will be left behind by the other rookies of my batch. Though my $95 strength comes from rule power, but leveling up is also very important, as at every level and stage it gives a small boost in the mental energy which is required to use the rule. Mental energy is necessary, otherwise even if I have all the rule power in the world, I would not able to use it, so I would need to level up and fast, or if I come across any dangerous opponent, I won't get a chance to use all my power because I don't have sufficient mental energy. I, with the motivation to protect, kept performing, and even after I finished performing 17th, I did not stop and continue for the 18th pose, but my repetitive attempt to perform the 18th pose had failed, as the pressure of 18th pose is too great that I wasn't able to perform. Seeing that today it will be impossible to perform 18th pose, I stopped trying and started to perform 17th pose again. I did that because the longer I kept performing the body cleansing exercise, the longer I kept performing, the more time the energy of miracle has to swallow other energies around it. If I have to level up quickly as possible, then I would have to give as much as effort as possible, otherwise I will spend an immense amount of merit points and crystal to get myself level up. Some organizations offer services that could make quick level up, but from what I've read on the web, they seem to be harmful to future practice. That is why I have level naturally as possible. Only if I didn't find any new method will I pay to level up. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. In the grim battlefield, having wealth is very important. It is more important here than it was ever in the Republic. Every service here cost fortune, be it that increase soul energy or the service that offers level up, both costs fortune here. The quickest way to earn fortune is a hunt. Hunting the grim race monsters are the only way to earn fortune. Higher the grade of monster you hunt, the more money you will earn. As I kept watching the energy of miracle fruit swallowing other energies and increasing its quantity, I noticed something that made me pleasantly surprised. I noticed that energy of miracle fruit swallowing speed had increased by about 20%. This may seem a small amount, but it is huge, as it will lessen the time of my level up by 1/5. That's not the only change I noticed. The energy of miracle fruit is creamy in color originally, but now it had a slight purple hue on it. Though the purple hue is barely discernible in the creamy colored energy, I was only able to notice because I intentionally concentrated my mental energy on the small part of that creamy energy. Is it mutating? I asked myself slowly. This only answer I could find, the slight layer of purple, and I think swallowing speed my miracle fruit's energy increased because of it. This mutation is going toward the right direction, I thought. The mutation is a very dangerous thing. It goes the right or wrong direction, and if some mutation goes toward the wrong direction, then it could produce a horrible result. Still, not feeling very calm about it, started to observe it with more care, and to observe it more carefully I even stopped circulating supreme combat exercise that was taking most of my mental energy and only kept performing 17th pose over and over. I wanted to stop so badly and so I could take a rest, but I couldn't, as observing mutation is very important. I have seen some horrifying mutations occurs in both monsters and humans, and it's heart-shuddering. I shudder whenever I thought about the mutation that had gone wrong. Till now I had only seen 2 mutations with my own eyes. One is when RHE's Rock Panda mutated to Diamond Panda, and second is a mutation of the energy of miracle fruit that is residing in me. Though I had confirmed that the mutation that is happening to energy of miracle fruit is not harmful, I still have to keep a vigilant eye on it as it has not completed yet. I will only take a sigh of relief when the mutation of this energy will be complete. If my conjecture is correct, which I think is, then the reason swallowing speed of my miracle's fruit's energy had increased by about 20% because of that purple layer that is covering each particle of the energy of miracle fruit, and the purple layer only covered about 2% of miracle fruit energy. Then if the mutation fully came into a fruit as the miracle fruit's energy fully turned purple, thus completing its mutation, then I can't imagine the speed of miracle's fruit's energy swallowing would be, and that time I will have to eat many monster core and other energies just to swallow its appetite. Michael didn't know, but the very words he says would come true in the future. But if that happens and swallowing speed increase as I expected, then very few would be able to match my level up to speed, I thought, and stars couldn't help but shine in my eyes. Thud. I finally collapsed on the floor with a thud as I used every ounce of energy and willpower I had. Chapter 368, Clearstream Valley. Last night was very fruitful. Not only I was able to advance my body cleaning technique to the 17th pose, but I was also able to advance in Supreme Combat Exworkos by 2 moves, reaching 9th move. But these 2 accomplishments pale in comparison to mutation of miracle fruit energy. This would be able to bring me immense benefits beyond my imagination. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Today I will go hunt again, and my destination is the same Sardine Hills. It's just that today I plan on going to the north side of it, where Grim Race monsters density is little higher than central side where I went last time. Today, I woke up an hour before dawn and made all my preparation within an hour, including eating the meal. Checking one last time I packed everything, I get out of my apartment where the hover car was already waiting for me. In less than 15 minutes I reached the city gates, and relieved to see, there is less crowd than last time. Though there are still thousands of people that are going through the gates, it is still less than last time. As I get out of city gates, I jumped into the air and started to run on it, and like last time, I merged the power of Sunfire into my skill. Speedily I cut through the wasteland while experimenting on my speed, as I wanted to see how much of maximum power I can merge with my skill to get the balanced speed, and soon I found an answer, which is 12%. I can currently handle 12% of the power of Sunfire merge into my flying skill. It took me less than an hour to cross the wasteland, 9 minutes less than the last time. When I had reached, the sun had fully risen and the sky is bright. This time I took a different route than last time, as I am moving toward the north, not the central side last time. I am very careful moving through it case I come across any sneak attack. Though it is near impossible to sneak attack on me due to my killing rule, and this forest contain very few Grim Race monsters, but still better be safe than sorry. It took me a little more than an hour and a half to get to the north side of the Sardine Hills. On the way I saw more than 10 people going in the same way as me, unlike last time when I saw only 2. The north side of Sardine Hills not only has a decent number of Grim Race monsters, but they also have more human hunters as well, and the reason Sardine Hills have more Grim Race monsters because it's connected to the mid-level war, hunting, ground. Though it is close to mid-level war ground, it is still a low-level hunting ground, and that is why most of the Grim Race monsters found here are still Lieutenant, Captain, and Major stage. There is rarely any Colonial stage Grim Race monsters venture there. Seeing a little hazy valley between 2 hills ahead of me, I started to feel fear and started to regret my decision coming here. I became too impulsive after my 2 rule powers advanced in a few days' time. I should have gone to the central area, just because it's going to my last time solo hunting for a few months and little advancement in my power. I had taken this impulsive decision. Sigh. I took a long sigh and decided to go ahead with this hunt, as it will only waste of time if I want to go to the central part of Sardine Hills now. I will hunt north of Sardine Hills. It's just that I will hunt in the outskirt and not go deeper. With that in mind, I started to walk toward the valley that is between 2 hill ranges. This valley is known as Clear Stream Valley and quite picturesque. When I researching about it, I found pictures of the valley quite beautiful. The reason it is known as Clear Stream Valley because this valley has hundreds of small streams of water flowing from the hills. These streams converge in many places, forming small lakes and ponds. Clear Stream Valley is not the only name of the valley, many people also call it Bloodstream Valley. It is said that about 600 years ago, conflict erupted in this very valley when thousands of forces from both sides took part, and the conflict was so intense that only 10% of participants survived, and dead people artifacts are buried across various places in the valley. It's being said that there's so much blood from those killed that soil of the whole valley became red and stayed red for more than a year, and that is why this valley sometimes referred to as Bloodstream Valley. Though not all facts are correct, it is proven that intense conflict did occur between the Grimm race and the human race, and both races had paid the huge price over that conflict with no definite winner. And it is also true that artifacts are buried here in various places across the valley, as many people found now and then. This Clear Stream Valley is on the outskirts of the north part of Sardine Hill, and I decided to hunt here. After I entered the valley, my steps became even more careful, and I activated the killing rule and started to revolve around my body so I could get enhancement in senses. If I had done that when I come across the Ratman's trap, I would have sensed their ambush a few meters ahead and would have more prepared for their sneak attack. One should learn from their mistakes, and that is why I started circulating killing rule so that I could actively sense threat, not passively like last time. After revolving the killing rule, my steps became more confident as I cautiously started to move deeper into the valley, and just half-hour after entering the valley, I heard the faint sound of battle, and they are coming from not far ahead. I don't want to go toward, as I am not excited like last time where I would want to check every fight. Whoever comes to hunt, they come at their own risk and clearly know what they are getting into, and it's not like they are a danger or something. From the sound I am hearing, the fight seemed to be in the favor of humans. If it had been monsters that are winning, I would have surely gone to check, and if it's not overly dangerous for me, I might even have helped. I decided to take the bypass around the fight and started walking toward my previously decided direction. As I traveled further into the valley, the more sounds of fighting I heard, but I didn't go toward them. The valley is really dense with Grimm race monsters. In just 40 minutes in the valley, and I 5 different sounds of the fighting. It is after more than 1 hour in the valley, I spotted my first prey from the distance. They are both at major stage and are of Featherman race. As which specific tribe, I will only able to tell when I get close enough to them. Chapter 369, Running Away. I silently followed the 2 birdmen without making any noise, as like me they also seemed to search for prey. Soon I got close enough that my eyes were able to see them clearly and sense their power. They both are pigeon men, tribe of the Grimm race. I first thought they would be pheasant men, seeing their gray and white the color of their fur, but after taking a very good look I've confirmed that they are pigeon men, and both of them are at major stage. They are wearing full hunting gear like other Grimm race's monsters and holding thin swords in their hands. If I had encountered them last time, I definitely would not have fought them. 1 major stage is enough for me, but now that both of my rule power advanced, I definitely have the confidence to fight them together. And if my luck is bad and both of them could summon their spirit totem or use occult method, I'm sure that I will able to run away from them, and my luck would not be this bad to encounter elite Grimm race monsters in my second time of hunting also. The elites are quite rare in rookie areas, and it was due to my bad luck that I encountered 2 elites last time. The elites are very rare to see in the low-level hunting ground. They are usually found in mid-level and high-level hunting ground. I activated 100% of my killing rule and walked out of my hiding place. They did notice me when I walked out of my hiding place. They only noticed me when I walked a few steps. Weren't you talking about how hungry you are feeling and look, lunch had appeared on its own without us searching it, said one pigeon man to his friend. You are right, Raoul, and this one's so weak that we will be able to finish him in a minute, said another pigeon and attacked me. Most of the bird-type Grim race monsters can't fly in the night stage, but once they level up from the night stage, they started to fly and they have no equal. Other types of Grim race monsters and humans can't compare to them, and probably that is why the bird-type monsters are best-type monsters at best at survival. I know what they had just said just now is to anger me. With having thousands of years of experience fighting against humans, they have a pretty good idea about us like we had about them. They can clearly sense I am at the sergeant stage, and despite that, I went out on the hunting, and that means I am clearly strong enough to vigilant. Such tactics won't work on me, and despite them noting me as their food, I remain calm. Seeing them speedily coming at with their sword, I also rush toward them. It's just that my speed is a little slower. The bird monster is known for its speed both on air and ground due to its light as air weight, which they take full advantage in the contact. Though my speed is slower than them, I could still able to see their every movement with my senses enhanced. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Clank. Clank. My sword and shield clashed against their sword, and as I had expected, I did not feel crushing weight which I felt when I counter the attack of Grim race monsters when I counter their attack head-on. The bird monsters are not known for their physical strength, but they are known for their speed and swiftness, which is why just as their weapons clashed against mine, they quickly flexed their wrist and attacked me from a different direction, and this time they are double 2 times faster than before. If I using Sunfire Rule instead of Killing Rule right now, I would have taken a step back to dodge the attack, but I am using Killing Rule and I was clearly able to see this move and able to respond to it. Clank clank. Clank clank. Clank clank. As I saw their weapons' direction, I was able to counter them, and like last time, just as I countered their attack, they launched another one that very second. They kept launching attack after attack and I kept responding it. It may look very slow, but it is happening very fast speed, and if I can exclude the Ratman that attacked me with occult skill, then this would be the fastest time I clashed weapons at this fast speed. We would have crossed weapons more than 80 times in just 1 minute. It was a good thing the Killing Rule gave me enhanced senses and intuitions. If I were using the Sunfire Rule, I would have had no option but to dodge these extremely fast their attacks. My fast countering speed is not only due to my Killing Rule but because of my body cleansing technique also. It is because of this that my body became flexible, that I could counterattack at such an unnatural angle. 20 minutes had passed and I started to feel a little tired, not physically but mentally also. For 20 minutes we had been fighting intensely and did not take even second of a break. In the normal fight, one would get a tiny break while taunting each other or while taking a step back. This would give one time to relax the muscle for a bit and relaxed one mind also. But this fight is extremely fast-paced, that now we are exchanging near 100 blows every minute and our speed increasing, getting faster every minute. Though after activating I get enhanced senses and intuition, it also had its price also, that I need a lot of mental energy to maintain control over my senses, intuition, and body when I am using Killing Rule. Killing Rule usually takes 40% more mental energy to use than the Sunfire Rule. Finally, my sword passed through the further man defense and cut him. Though I was only able to a few feathers and not real skin, it still counted. I thought the feathered would curse at me or would say something taunting seeing my sword able to cut through its defenses, but it did not say anything except for glaring at me and making their attacks even more intense. With passing time, my intuition grew stronger and I was able to harm him. I'm confident that in the next 10 minutes my intuition will become strong enough that I will be able to injure them, and in half an hour, one of them will be dead by my sword. Yes. I screamed in my mind, as I finally able to cut the skin of the Featherman, and it way earlier than I expected. I thought I will take more near 10 minutes before I will be able to cut its skin, but I just did that 4 minutes later. As my attack landed, both of the monsters looked at each. I felt something is wrong and got ready to use my Sunfire Rule with Killing Rule, not fearing repercussion that will come after, when 2 feathered men simultaneously took a jump back and started running away. Their speed was so fast that they disappear from my eyes within a second. seeing that I looked at them blandly thinking what had just happened. Their running away had utterly confused me. Isn't one runs away when one had a sure chance of being defeated or killed, not when one just received a single non-threatening injury? Chapter 370 Help. Fire strike. Fire strike. Fire strike. Coming out of my bafflement, I swiftly activated my most powerful offensive skill and attack while activating my speed skills. Though I can't see them through the trees, I can sense them, and it is enough for me to launch an attack effectively. For Major Stage Warrior, my fire strike is not lethal even if it had been merged with 100% rule power, as with Major Stage Warriors could easily sense the attack that is coming toward them. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience. Please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. My intention was not to harm them but slow them down, so could catch up to them, but looked like it was just my wishful thinking that my attack would able to touch them, as they had easily dodged my fire strike, seeing that I stopped and did not follow them as there is no use. What has just happened? I asked myself again in confusion. Earlier we are fighting one moment and the next moment they started to run away suddenly after looking at each other briefly. The fight between us was intense, but no one was seriously injured. The injury I have, the Feather Man, was not even serious. It would have automatically healed in a minute by strong vital powers of Grim Race. Still, I can't do anything about them as now they had run away, and I am not an idiot enough to follow them, as it could lead to ambush, and such may seem rare but they are very commonly used by both Grim Race and humans. Sighing, I ate another small piece of monster core and started to walk to search for another Grim Race monsters to hunt. It is still morning and I had not wasted more than half an hour on those birdmen. With that thinking I started to search for new prey. It seemed like my luck is really bad. I have been searching for the prey for the past 2 hours but I did not find any. The Grim Race monsters that I found, they seemed to be fighting with the other humans. I was just walking when I heard something, and that sound seemed to be getting closer and closer. Soon I could see 2 humans are running toward me, and they both seemed to be girls. They are running very speedily, and as they little closer, I found that 4 werewolves were following them behind with fiendish expression, and from their speed, they seemed to be gaining ground on the girls. During the chase, both parties are launching attacks at each other to slow the other party down. Of the 4 werewolves, 3 werewolves launching attack at girls while the other one is following with carefree expression and did not have a weapon on him except for his suit of armor. Seeing such behavior of werewolf, I became vigilant and prepared for worst. I have to say, these 2 girls are quite strong, as both of them able to fend off most of the attacks from the 4 major stage werewolves while being at a peak level of master stage. If there were only 2 werewolves, I am sure these 2 girls would have able to deal with them. They both looked to be the same age me, and sensing rule powers fluctuations from them, I could concur that both of these girls are likely from West Blood. As they got closer, I got a clear look at their faces and surprised to find that both of the girls are twins and looks exactly the same, but despite that one would easily able to identify them as one had jet black hair while others had a fire engine red color hair. "Friend, would you help us fend off these werewolves? We will pay you a handsome reward if we survived," said Redhead from the distance as she saw me from the distance. I nodded and took out the mid-level night grade sword from my storage. This will be the first time I will be using this in the grim battlefield. Last time I got too overconfident in my confidence that I hadn't used it, otherwise with its help the fight would have been a little easier. If it had been normal times, I would have run away even if the asking help is 2 pretty girls, as what I will be fighting against 2 werewolves at least, but for 2 hours, I hadn't found any Grim Race monster to hunt. That made me quite frustrated that even seeing 4 werewolves coming toward me, my mood had to brighten. I had already activated Sunfire Rule when I saw the 2 girls were coming toward me, as I didn't want anyone to know I had comprehended the killing rule, and after seeing there are 4 werewolves chasing 2 girls, I had utilized it powerfully at 100%. Using 100% power of Sunfire, I am feeling a little headache, though it's just mild one, nothing compared to the one I had when I used the power of 2 rules together. That was head-spitting one, but still having a headache means I am in serious need of mental power if I want to use my rules powers at their limit. Soon the 2 girls appeared in front of me and stood both sides of me. I have to say they are more beautiful than I thought. They are just shy away from matching Ellen in beauty. "Thank you for your willingness to help us. Unlike others who ran away seeing 4 major level werewolves that are chasing us," said girls with fire engine red hair. I nodded, but inside I was also vigilant against them, thinking they will run away after giving werewolves a new target that is me, but the girls didn't do that and stand beside me. If they had betrayed me, I would have made pay the heavy price with death. He, looks like a hero came to save the damsels, but look, hero's strength so little that to finish him off just single fingernail of mine ID enough, said lead werewolf as he stopped not far from us with 2 of its mates. Ha 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 ha. Hearing that 3 other werewolves behind him started to laugh, I didn't react to its provocation and stood vigilantly. All this was tactic to make me angry. If I got angry and attacked them, then I would be finished by these werewolves before I even knew it. Careful of the leader, he is stronger than other werewolves, said red-haired girl. I nodded. All the 4 werewolves at major stage, but the leader of the werewolf is excluding more oppressive power than the other 3 werewolves combined. He will surely be stronger than the other 3 werewolves, quite possibly have a totem spirit or comprehended occult method. Why my luck is so bad? I cursed inside my mind. The first time I entered the grim battlefield I come across 2 elite monsters. One could summon a totem spirit while another has comprehended occult method. You 2 handle the other 3 werewolves while I'll deal with the leader, I said. That clearly surprised both girls and werewolf leader. They probably thought I will choose to fight one of the weakest werewolves, but instead, I am choosing to fight the strongest, most dangerous one. Punk, do you think you could beat me? Asked the werewolf leader with leasing tone. You will know when I stuff the runic disc inside you and harvest pretty mana crystals, I replied with the same teasing tone. Punk. You will pay for what you have just said werewolf leader and leaped at me with his great axe. Chapter 371 Twin Sisters. The werewolf leader leaped at me with a great axe in hand. Its speed is really fast. The moment he was in his spot and the next moment he appeared right in front of me as his axe come hacking at me. If I had killing rule, I would have seen this moment with slow speed and little more clarity, and my thoughts became fast enough that I was able to think dozens of options to deal with an axe, but still I would have able to dodge as I moved, seen movements of werewolf as it was about to launch an attack, but still it would not have been enough. This werewolf is too strong. Only if my killing rule's comprehension at the level of current Sunfire rule, I would have had a chance to deal with a werewolf with my killing, but my killing rule's comprehension is behind the Sunfire rule. But it was a good thing the rule I now had activated is Sunfire rule, which is not only one of the best offensive type rule, but when merged with skills, it provides pretty good other boosts also. I had already activated my strength type skill when I spotted werewolves chasing after the girls, and when werewolves had appeared, I had already merged 100% power with my strengthening skill. I did wish to dodge the coming attack. I want to experience the power of this werewolf attacks, so I could access its true power. The great axe came toward me as it specifically aiming at my neck. Just a slight mistake, and my head will be decapitated. Seeing its axe close, I swung my sword toward, and like a streak of red light my sword clashed against the axe. Clank. Thud 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 thud. My sword and its great axe clash, and next moment, I felt immense shock inside me that I had to take 3 steps back, but as I was taking a step back the werewolf attacked me again, and this time, its attack is 3 times faster. I whipped my sword at its axe as response and flexed my legs a little in preparation for the clash. Clank. As werewolf's axe clashed against my sword, I felt intense shock, which was 3 times stronger than the last time, but unlike last time, I am prepared for this scenario. As this shock traveled me to my body, wanting to wreak havoc inside, but it wasn't able to do that as my body is in the protection of the Sunfire rule, and with the help of Sunfire rule, I diverted all my power back into my legs and jumped back. So, this is its power and it must be hiding a little more, I thought smilingly as I jumped back. While taking a jump back, I cast gaze as 2 sisters battle for a moment, and quite surprised to find they are giving 3 werewolves quite a hard time with their teamwork. These 2 sisters had flawless teamwork where they could cover each other's flaws and boost each other's attacks very flawlessly, and the most amazing thing is the rules they have comprehended. The rules they have comprehended have opposite properties like these 2 girls' personalities, but like them, they work in sync. Both of them have comprehended a powerful level 2 rules, and their rules are powerful variations of ice and fire. I didn't come across their rules when I was Rule Palace, but I am definitely sure that the rules they have to comprehend are powerful level 2nd rules. those their power could not be compared to peak second-level rule like Sunfire rule and Killing rule, but their rules can definitely categorize in the high-grade level 2 rules. I would have liked to watch their battle more than a moment, but I can't, as Werewolf had followed me with its attack and I again responded with my sword, but this time, my sword had glowed a little. Clank. I and Werewolf clashed in midair, but this time, I did not shoot back like the Werewolf expected me to. Hee hee. Thud. I laugh as I landed on the ground. I have activated 100% of my rule power and I have merged with my strength, but that doesn't mean I have used it all. After landing on the ground, I found the Werewolf coming at me, and this time its attacks even more forceful, but this time I did not remain passive and attacked with my sword glowing brighter again. This red sword is mid-level kite-grade artifact and has 3 enhancements. Of the 3 enhancements, one had already been unlocked when I had gotten this sword. The first enhancement is relatively simple but very useful, that fire enhancement. Once a fire-type energy entered inside it, its power will increase. As for how much, it will depend on the quality and level of fire energy that is put inside, and the most amazing thing is its power can be enhanced by rule power. From what I have, one's rule power must have reached average grade before the weapon could be baptized with. He must be very talented to comprehend rule at the average stage while being at night stage, the axe owner from whom I have comprehended. Its original owner must have baptized it with high-level fire-type rule for it to acquit Sunfire rule so easily, as this sword only uses fire-type mana and fire-type rule, and Sunfire could still be considered as fire-type rule. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Clank clank clank. Werewolf leader and I kept clashing. Every move of ours is stronger than before. Whatever that came in our way could be cut down, trees, boulder, etc. The sword in my hand now glowing very brightly as it came out of a furnace. The battle continues on as we both tried to get the upper hand on each other but failed to do so. You're better than I expected, but if you think this is all I have, then you are sorely mistaken, said Werewolf as countered my sword nimbly and attacked me again. This is just me just playing, but now I am going to fight seriously, said the Werewolf, and the great axe that was coming at me increased its power suddenly in mid-swing. Its power increased to more than 5 times. Hun. I did not think and pour all the Sunfire rule power I had into my sword as I swung toward the great axe, which is coming to hack me into 2 while I am doing that. Suddenly notice a thing from my sword that made me really happy and very angry at myself that I won't curse loudly. This red sword had 3 enhancements, one unsealed while the other 2 are sealed. I had tried many times to unlock it before but never have been successful, but now when I fed all my Sunfire to the sword, I found seal breaking a little. If I kept attacking that seal with my Sunfire, I would be able to break in a few minutes. If I had tried to break the seal 3 days ago when my comprehension of Sunfire, I wouldn't be trying to break the seal now. Instead I would be using it against this werewolf. Chapter 372 Second Enhancement, Point Inferno. Clank. Both of our weapons clashed and I flew back, and the shock my body received so hugely that even my internal organs got damaged and about blood entered but I forcefully swallowed it down. So this is its real power. Well, I expect nothing less from the opponent. That gave me a feeling of mortal danger. Thud. I forcefully stabilized myself in midair and landed on the ground before I could crash against some tree. I had just stabilized myself when I saw the werewolf coming at me. Not even wiping the blood that is dropped from the corner of my mouth, I swung my bright red sword at the werewolf. Clank. This time its axe forceful than the last time, but this time I had an initial idea about its strength, so despite flying away by its strike, I am not injured by it as I devoured the force carefully. Every part of my body and the remaining force that was harmful to me is got dealt by the Sunfire fire. I would have easily crushed the whole force with my rule power if I had sufficient time, but regretfully time is a luxury I did not have, as another axe of the werewolf is coming at me and all I could is counter, as dodging is not an option for me. Clank. Another forceful attack and I again flew back like last, and this time I flew far enough that I can't see the battle of the twins, just hear the sound of their battle with the other 3 werewolves. Clank 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 clank. While I was flying away by every attack of the werewolf, I am also trying my all to break the seal on second enhancement, as this is the only option to win against the werewolf. I could have run away if I wanted to, and despite having such immense strength, It would have been very difficult for the werewolf to catch me, but I did not run away as I could feel, I can beat this werewolf. I had already decided that I will run away when I have no choice, and why would I run away? This werewolf is the best opponent I could find, and only fighting such opponent would I be able to improve. If I kept running away when things got tough, then I will never be able to achieve my goal. Since I had started adventuring, I had seen and heard about many things that a boy from a small town never would, like the central continent and legendary powerhouses of supreme-level organizations that lord over the world. I know many things as my horizon about the world got bigger, but I still cherish the dream that I have from childhood, which is participating in the League of Legends. And this time, due to Awakening Ground, a lot of people have comprehended the rule power and had entered the grim battlefield, so they will surely participate in the League of Legends. This time's League Legend going to like never before. Since childhood, I only wanted to enter the League of Legends, but now I am the dream of being at the top. This dream may seem absurd, but I will give my all to achieve it, and with my 2 rule power, I know I have a pretty good chance if I continue leveling up and continue advancing comprehension of my rule powers. Clank poo. I again flew back as my sword clashed against the great axe of the werewolf and vomited blood again. For past 10 or so moves the power of the werewolf's great axe increased again, that every time I clashed against it, I couldn't help but vomit blood. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. This axe of a werewolf is a little special. I hadn't noticed it first, but whenever my sword clashed against the axe, an unnoticeable vibration entered my body. There is no mystical quality about this vibration, as the vibration itself is harmless, but when this vibration is merged with the force of axe inside my body, it became extremely lethal, aching to the tiny needle that kept teasing you. I may look good on the surface, but I am very injured internally due to its constant attacks, and also because of that, I didn't even get a chance to drink the potion. The strong body that I used to quite proud of now had become quite feeble as paper. The 2 amethyst seals in my body had become useless in front of such an opponent. This fight with a werewolf is said to most fruitful fight I had within these past few months, especially when I come out of Awakening Ground comprehending the rule. This fight made me realize my strengths and weaknesses, and in what area should I focus on, and the one area I should focus on most is improving my soul energy, power level, body, and healing. Simply said, I bind everything except for the ruling power. Rule power may be transcendent, but other things also necessary. The seal on the second enhancement is nearly broke. In just a few seconds the seal would be completely broken, and only then I would have a chance to finish this opponent. It's not like I can't use 2 rules together. I can use them, but I will have to suffer the intense headache, and among side effects and duration would also be extremely small. Compared to the few minutes that I got before, this time I will be lucky if I was able to maintain the state even for 3 seconds. I hadn't used that method yet. I am waiting for my sword's second enhancement to break. With it I will have more assurance killing it in the single move, as that what I will have, a single move if failed, then running with my fullest speed, would be my only choice. I kept fending off the werewolf blows, and while getting injured by it internally, I have already become seriously injured and looked quite pale. If this going on for a few more minutes, then I will have no choice but to run. Crack crack crack, bang. Finally, the seal blasted apart and second enhancement had been unsealed as its information transmitted in my mind. Point Inferno, this is the name of the second enhancement. To activate this enhancement, I will have to feed a lot of fire energy and rule power to the sword, which will concentrate on the single point at the tip of the sword. This enhancement is crazy powerful, but it had a very big downside, that is, to attack with it, I will have to touch the tip of my sword to the object which I want to attack. That means if I want to attack the werewolf with second enhancement, then the tip of my sword had to touch the werewolf. Just as I read the description, I started to charge the artifact, and it would take me 55 seconds to 1 minute to fully charge with rule power. I will have to suffer its onslaught for a minute again. Only after I charged my sword full, only then I will use 2 of my rule powers together, and I am sure once the tip of my sword any part of the werewolf, it will be its end. That's how powerful attack of second enhancement would be. Chapter 373 Dead. Clank poo. 40 seconds had passed and 20 seconds more, and I will be able to pierce this bastard with my sword. You are difficult to kill as those cockroaches, said Wolfman suddenly, and I had ominous intuition that it will be going do something which will be very bad for me. Looks like I will have to use that, said the werewolf, and vile smoke bellowed from its body. I have already thought something like this happens. You can summon spirit totem? I asked with utterly shocked expression in order to stall for time. I just need to stall it for the 5 seconds, after that I can attack. Yes, I can, said quite triumphantly, but suddenly as it had sensed something, an intense look of anger came over. You are trying to stall me? It asked as it hacked its greatsword at me with immense strength, but seeing the great axe coming toward me, I showed no fear, instead smiled. Just as it had finished asking, the charge completed and concentrated fire in a similar size of rice grain formed on my sword, and seeing that I activated my killing rule. Just as I did, I overcame with the soul-crushing headache, and my eyes, ears, and nose started to bleed, but seeing all the fire mana and rule power I feed it to the sword had concentrated into the single small point that is the similar size of rice, I can't imagine what level of power it will exclude, but I am sure, once it hit any part of werewolf body, it will surely kill it or injure it enough that it won't able to stand. As the spirit totem integrated back into him, he axe speed is even greater, but to my senses, it's like an axe coming at normal speed. I quickly started to access the loophole to attack. With killing rule, my thought the process has become extremely fast, which helped me think the best possible way to beat this werewolf in a single strike. This is a very dangerous move and I would probably get very injured, but to kill this wolf it will be worth it. I released my left hand from the sword and activated my shield from it. I usually hold a sword in both of my hands, I only hold it in one hand when I using the shield. I moved my left hand toward the incoming axe and my sword toward its chest. A curve of a smile formed on its lips seeing me do that, as taking one hand off the sword not only decreased the power of my sword a lot, but it also makes my defense lose, so when its axe will clash against me at axe, it will transfer immense shock in my body, and with it will come vibration that will cut every part of my body, so there is very high chance then not only my internal organs will get shredded, it will also powder my bone. It doesn't seem to care about my sword seeing its power diminished and how protective gear he is wearing. If it wants to avoid my sword then it will have to abandon its attack, which it won't do. It will bear the small injury on its for the price of killing me. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. It is a very dangerous plan and even a slight mistake could cost me my life, but once successful, it will surely kill or fatally injure this monster, as that flesh-shredding bone-cutting vibration. I also have the plan to deal with that. As for him noticing about my plan is very difficult as concentrated fire point is hidden in the very tip of the sword, it will only come out when I willed it and it touched any object. D. It shouted loudly as its axe about to clash with my shield and my sword about to touch its heart. Banning. Poochie. Finally, the axe clashed against my side and exact same moment my sword touched the center of its chest instead of its heart as it craftily moved a little, and I had to improvise at last momenta, and only after passing its defenses and piercing its skin by half a centimeter, I released that rice-size concentrated fire into its body. I was able to forcefully stand on the ground for a moment before I was sent flying at extreme speed. We both screamed loudly at the same time, as the vibration that came from its axe started to tear my body apart and the rice-like concentrated fire I released into its body is cooking it from inside. It may look like much time had passed, but only 2 seconds passed since it launches an attack after integrating with its spirit totem. I want to let go of 2 rule powers that I activated, but I forcefully hold them and started to circulate them all over my body to crush the vibration that is cutting my every part of my into fine pieces. If I did not crush this force with 4 seconds, then I will surely pass through the door of the underworld. I used the power of 2 of my rules to crush the vibration inside, but every moment pain is increasing by a fold that I finally can't handle and had to let go of rule powers. Bang! Crack crack crack, poo poo poo. The moment after letting go rule power, I crashed into the tree and felt every bone of my body broke and I kept vomiting the blood. If I had crashed against the tree when I rule power activated, the effect would not be this worst as my strengthening skill and strength skill were fused with the skill. I am already got seriously injured with the vibrations, and now clashing against the tree made me even more injured, and worst is I was unable to crush fully and it is injuring me again. I have to crush this vibration quickly, though its power is very lower than before, but it is still injuring, and if it keeps such pace then I will not able to live more than 5 minutes despite its low power. Gritting my teeth, I again activated the power of Sunfire despite feeling immense headache and started to crush final vibration with it. Every moment of torturous as I feeling soul-splitting headache due to rule power being active, but I have no choice but endure this torture till those lethal vibrations are not fully crushed. Finally, after a few seconds later I am able to crush all the vibrations with my rule power and just wanted to rest a bit, but I didn't as I am still very seriously injured, and if I didn't drink the potion soon, I will have to face grave repercussion or even death. I somehow used my mangled hand to reach my storage and took out a few bottles of potions and somehow drank them one after another. Only when I felt cool and vibrant force traveling all over my body, only then I am able to take a sigh of relief thinking I finally survived. Chapter 374 Fire Crystals. After drinking more than 10 bottles of the potions, I felt slightly good that I was able to move my limbs, find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. I started to crawl toward the werewolf body, despite my body is still healing. First is to pick my sword which had flown out of my hand, second is to check whether werewolf dead or not and attach the runic discs to it to harvest the mana crystals. It will take me near an hour to heal enough that to walk normally without feeling any pain. If I waited and then harvested mana crystal then it will waste quite a time. So it would be quite better I attach the runic discs now. By the time I healed enough to walk, the mana crystals will be harvested from the werewolves. After finding my sword, I crawled toward the werewolf. When I reached near it, I found all the veins in his body are bright red and center of the chest which I thought would have big hole, there is nothing except for little burned and bright red spreading from it. Point Inferno. When I got name and information from the sword after breaking the seal, I thought it would that rice-like concentrated fire will blast big hope in the werewolf's chest, but nothing that sort happens. Instead, it seemed to have burned the dark energy in its body. I hope it will not affect the number of mana crystals I harvest from it, I thought as I placed my mid-grade runic discs on both sides of the chest. Runic discs lit up and started harvesting the mana crystal from the werewolf while I sat beside it and drank several bottles of potions again. This time the vibrations had damaged my body quite deeply, and there even that energy of spirit totem, if not for I forcefully activated my rule power again erased them, I would have been in the underworld right now. Still, this fight had been very useful to me. This fight gave me a clear indication of which area I should focus on for a few months. First and foremost, I should increase my mental power enough that I would be able to use 2 of my rule powers with ease. Second would be level up obviously, and third I should do something to make my body strong. If I were to say straightly then I would perform more poses of body cleansing exercise as possible and create more seals of supreme combat exercise as possible, only then I will able to overcome my deficiencies. As I am busy with my thoughts, I suddenly noticed that light on both of the runic discs had died down. It had been just 10 some minutes since I placed them on werewolf for harvesting. When I looked at both runic discs, both of them had just harvested 11 complete mana crystals. Being an elite major level it should have given 20 to 30 mana crystals, but it had just given 11. Looks like if I wanted to harvest more crystal, I should use this second enhancement move as less as possible, I thought as I opened the lock of the runic disc to take out the refined mana crystals from it. Fire crystal. I shout out loudly, didn't know what to think about seeing fire crystal. Harvesting fire crystal is not a strange thing. One can harvest fire element crystal or any other element crystal from the Grim race. It's just have to special Elementium tribe or Grim race monster that is practicing elementum energy, but the werewolf front of me fit neither categories. I know it is just normal elite werewolf, it neither from special werewolf tribe nor is one who practiced some elemental or other energy, otherwise I would sense it. Since neither of those options apply, then there is only one thing that caused runic discs to produce fire crystal, that is second enhancement attack, I did earlier. Point Inferno must have caused this some way, but I don't know how, as it is not easy to change elementum of one's energy for Grim race or us. After taking out 5 fire crystal from first runic disc and I decided to check on the other disc excitedly, only to find 6 fire crystal that I expected. This is a windfall. Normally from Elite Major Stage Grim Monster, one can harvest about 25 mana crystal average with medium grade skill, but what I got is 11 fire crystals, which price equivalent to the 10 normal refined mana crystals. That mean these 11 fire crystals I have is equivalent to 11 O mana crystal, more than 4 times that I usually get from the major stage Grim Race monsters. The first thing I will do after I get to my apartment is the search for a reason for me harvesting the fire crystal and find a way if it was just a fluke or there is a way to imitate it. If I could find a way to harvest fire crystal at every hunt, then I would be able to get 4 times more in every hunt. Shaking my head of such though, I drank another healing potion. My injuries are quite extensive and will have to rest for half an hour more before I could walk normally. Half an hour passed quickly. After checking Grim Race Monster Ash one more time for any lost item, I started to walk toward the north where my fight with the werewolf leader had started. I am still a little worried about the 2 sisters as they were fighting 3 major stage werewolves. Though the 3 werewolves were quite weak compared to their leader, they were still 3 major stage monsters. They should be fine. I thought when I had to look at their fight they were doing quite fine against the 3 werewolves with their impeccable teamwork and second level rule. I didn't hear any noise as I go toward the battlefield, and that made me vigilant, and I grabbed my sword and walked toward the area carefully, but soon realized that I am worried for nothing as I saw twins had already killed the 3 werewolves. It's just that they had suffered quite a serious injuries similar to mine and now recuperating. I come out in the open and hearing the sound of my footsteps, the twins instantly became vigilant and ready to attack, but when they saw it's me, they had put down their weapons. We were quite worried about you and would have come for your rescue after we have healed enough, but looked like you are quite fine," said red-haired girl. "Yes, I dealt with it," I confirmed. They didn't sound much surprised hearing that. "Since you both are fine, I'll leave," I said and started to leave. "Wait. I did say, I'll give you reward for help, you can keep the 3 bodies," said red-haired girl. "No need. Consider as a favor, you can help me when I am in trouble," I said left before they could protest. I said this word to them because I didn't like taking something from others that is rightfully theirs, but I didn't know that the words that I used as an excuse not to take the reward for will soon come true. I did not stay at Sardine Hill anymore and started to walk toward the outpost despite there is still 3 hours before the time of leaving I've decided before. Chapter 375 Coincidences. I was able to reach my apartment before the evening came, and the first thing I did was lay on the bed tiredly, and that is what I am doing for the past half an hour. The fight with the werewolf leader took a lot out me, and till now, I am not healed fully. The vibrations did the damage on the tissue level that it will take some time to fully. After laying on the bed for half an hour, I finally got up and started to search for the reason of me getting fire crystal, and half an hour of searching I finally found the reason, and when I read the reason, a weird expression had formed in my face. The forming of fire crystals was a pure coincidence due to many factors. First is I have the perfect attack, which is Point Inferno, which stuck at the perfect spot, which is the center of Werewolf's chest. That is the place where magic veins of all his body congealed. It could be said that it is the center of the magic veins network of werewolf's bodies. So, me stuffing extremely concentrated fire mana and sunfire rule into the center of magic veins network, it had lit up all the dark energy present in the veins and transferred to every cell of its body, and that changed its dark energy's flavor to fire type. It is very difficult to do that again if I want to. First, the Grim Race monster has to be alive. Second, I had to stuff the concentrated energy into the center of its mana veins network. The amount of energy neither has to less nor more. If it is less, then it won't be able to change the type of the dark energy, and if it is more, then it will burn the body to crisp. That is why I said that me harvesting fire as crystal is due to bundle of coincidences coming together, but that doesn't mean it can't be done again. The information I am reading said that it can be done, and many people harvest elemental mana crystals through this method. It just that one needs a lot of practice. That means I will have an experiment on lots of Grim Race monsters before I could succeed. If I really want harvest elemental fire crystals, then I will have to suffer the loss before I could make a profit in harvesting elementum mana crystals. I have feeling that I could do and will learn pretty quickly. The reason for my confidence is my killing rule. It is half sensory type rule, which I think will be very helpful. I continue researching it for some time before closing the windows as I have a bath and dinner to make. Time passed and the day of my officially joining Raging Thunder had arrived. These past 3 days had been very helpful. Not only I had done very extensive research about how to harvest elemental mana crystals perfectly, I even done quite well in the supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique. I was able to reach advanced 2 move in the supreme combat exercise and 3 poses in the body cleansing exercise, which came to a surprise to me as I thought that my progress in the supreme combat exercise would be faster than the body cleansing exercise. Well, this progress is well earned as I practiced supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique 2 times a day. I am already in hovercar and should reach the Raging Thunder Guild soon. I am feeling little jittery right now, which I hadn't felt for some time. Last time I had felt such jittery was when I was about to enter the Rule Palace, and I feel that Raging Thunder effect on me would be same as gaining rule power. Joining will give a completely different direction to my life. Finally, the hovercar stopped in front of the white color building. The building is pure wall except purple-red huge lightning mark that is attached to the building. Ah! As I looked at the light mark for more than a second, I felt like lightning had struck my eyes and I had to look away lest it really hurt my eyes. Rookie! I heard someone say, only to see a boy who looked to be a year older than is looking at me. Don't look at the signboard of any S-class guild or it will hurt you some way. All of these signboards are infused with rule power of guild member. You can only look at it when your rule power had reached the intermediate grade, he said and walked toward the guild before I could say anything. What he said is really true. On my first day in the Fort Cavendish, I had seen the logo of snow and felt little headache. So this is power and majesty of the S-grade guilds. I can't imagine how many people had infused their power in the logo to create such effect. The building of the Raging Thunder Guild is pure white and just 7 stories tall compared to some other guilds who have to build taller than 50 stories. I've read that S-class guilds don't have more than 1,000 members in their guild, and it is not because they want to accept a fixed number of members, it's just that the requirement to join is too high. Not many people could gain 4,000 combat score when they are rookies, only best of best could able to get in the S-class guild. I looked at the lightning symbol for one more time and walked inside. As I am walking inside it, I found people are going and coming inside like normal building, but the different thing is the badge they are wearing. A purple-red lightning badge could be seen on them, that is S-class guild badge. That badge is a wonder ticket that could take you to many places where you could not go before and opened many unknown doors. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. The S-Class Guild member has many privileges. One of them is whatever they buy they will always get an offer and they don't have to wait in the like when coming and going outside the Fort Cavendish, they could just fly over it. From today, I will also have that badge on me, I thought as I walked toward the receptionist desk, but before I could say anything, the pretty receptionist asked me the question. Rookie, she asked me as I approached the desk. I nodded. Go to the hall number 3, all the rookies accepted in this month are there, she said pointing to the hall that had number 3 painted on the large letters. Thank you, I said and walked toward the hall number 3. Inside the hall number 3, I found 20-something people are sitting there doing their own thing. I thought I am quite early but looked like there are people who are earlier than me. I have never expected we will meet this soon. I heard, the voice seemed familiar but I can put a point on it, but when I looked at the person who had just talked, I couldn't help but get surprised as the one called me the same red-haired girl who had asked me for help 3 days ago. Chapter 376, Joining Formally. We meet again, I said as I sat beside the empty chair next to a red-haired girl, the black hair quite twin also sitting beside her sister. I didn't get a chance to introduce us last time. I am Sophia and this is my elder sister Reina, said Sophia as she introduced herself and her twin. So, the black-haired one is elder, the red-haired one is since I had only heard her talk. Michael. I introduced myself as I looked at all the people that are sitting here. Most of them seemed around my age, but some are older who are in their late teens or early 20s. Most of those who are in their 20s are at captain stage or above. From some of them I even felt an extremely threatening feeling which clearly surprised me. Due to killing rule, I could as one ability even if they are not emitting the aura and could also sense their battle power comparing to the level of threat I feel. Giving me extremely feeling means they could beat me at the single move, which is clearly unexpected and surprising as normal captain stage are not my match, even those who are super elite can't beat. Only captain stage evolver that beat me those who had comprehended the rule, and by the feeling I got nearly all the people who are here had comprehended the rule power. That's an S-class guild for you. In normal guilds it is very difficult to see rookie who had comprehended the rule power, but in the S-class guild, they are everywhere. Time passed by, people kept coming, and by the time there are only 5 minutes before the requested time, nearly 100 people filled the hall. This time there are more people. It was probably due to Awakening Ground opened in Republic, said Sophia. Like me, they are also from the Republic, it's just that they are from the capital city and I am from the Westblood city. The twins' elder brother had also come to the grim battlefield 4 years ago and able to join the S-class guild, and probably that is why they know many things about the grim battlefield. Soon very beautiful young women in her early 20s entered the hall, and just as my gaze fell on her, alarm bells started to ring out in my mind. This is the most threatening feeling I got from anyone since I came out of Awakening Ground. Only in the Awakening Ground I had felt the danger similar to this. I wasn't able to sense her power level for some reason, but that didn't matter. Knowing her battle power is enough to know that I should never offend this girl, otherwise I will die before I know what had happened. Seeing her entered, the hall became quiet as her chest has the badge of Raging Thunder, but her badge is little different others were wearing. Hers has golden outline covering the lightning bolt. Hello, I am Vice Guildmaster Elena Benz. I welcome you all, the new members of Raging Thunder, she said in neutral expressions as she stood in front of us all. You all coming here means you are ready to join our guild Raging Thunder. Now, I will start with the formalities, she said with her expressionless face and neutral voice. After that was 2 hours of whole formal business where we had to sign some contract forms. They were not serious, just usual business one had to do when one joins any organization. From today, you are members of Raging Thunder and I welcome you all, she said and waved her hands, and small wooden boxes come out of her storage and flew where we were sitting one by one and stopped in front of us floating. Gasp. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. What a terrific ability control. I gasped in admiration. Not only I but many people gasped seeing this. One can clearly see she had a wind ability, which is one of hardest ability to control, even harder than the fire, but she is controlling them like her own limbs. Not only that, there are near 100 badges that are stopped in front of us not moving at all. That's some terrific control and mind power to control 100 objects at the same time. People stood still for a moment before picking up wooden boxes one by one. I also picked up a box that was in front of me. After scanning my holowatch to the wooden box, it opened, revealing small and delicate purple-red lightning batch inside. I have been waiting to get this ever since I've had entered the guild. Now I finally got. After admiring it enough, I finally stick it to my chest, thinking how great it is looking on my chest. Your training will start from tomorrow for 2 weeks, where you will be going outside with the experienced hunter, she said. The Raging Thunder provides 2 weeks of training to all their rookies, where an experienced hunter takes them for hunting. After 2 weeks of training they are free to form their own groups, but they will have to register their group with the guild. You will know the details about your group leader and groupmates tomorrow when you arrive at dawn tomorrow. The official business is over, you all free now, but don't forget you will have to come to dawn tomorrow. Missing the first day of training will lead an expulsion from the guild, she said. Left. What just happened? Did she just warn us with such a neutral voice? Man, what boring women, said Sophia after Elena Benz left. I also nodded. Her voice has no emotions whatsoever, hearing her speak like hearing white noise on the repeat. Well, let's go. We should check the guild out. My brother told me that every S-class guild has many cool things, Sophia said excitedly as she took us out of the hall. She may be excited about many things, but I am excited about only one thing, and that is the occult method. Chapter 377 Mana Transmutation Crystal. 3 of us get out of the hall excitedly, but if one would ask who is most excited, then it would be Sophia. She is very excited that she literally dragged us to the second floor as all training facilities and other cool things are from the second floor. Look, the gravity chamber, here one could train in 20 times more gravity than normal, said Sophia. 20 times. I am shocked by hearing that. In the Republic the highest gravity chamber could offer is 7 times and only those with a strong body and high power were able to walk in this level. As in every turn, the gravity is multiplied and it very hard to walk when every cell of your body experiencing that weight. Till now I had only walked gravity that is 4 times a normal. I was able to do that because I had created 2 amethyst seals which made my body quite strong. As entered the chamber, I could see there are tens of circular platforms that are 4 meters in diameter and many people practicing on them, and what surprised me is all of them were practicing at 9 times or above gravity and they are experiencing gravity with the pure body, they are not using any other strength. I received my biggest shock when I saw the level of those practicing, all of them were the major stage or below. I have fought with major stage, not only humans but monsters and grim race, and no humans' bodies are very weaker than the other two. Seeing them I again come to know the deficiency of my body and need to improve it as quickly as possible. One can't underestimate the members of S-Class Guild, said melodic unfamiliar voice beside me, only to see it was Reina that spoke. It is my first time hearing her speak and got quite surprised. I know she is not mute as mute people behave differently than how Reina does, still, I am quite surprised to know she had such a melodic voice. People with such a voice should speak more, not less like her. Brother was right, the members of S-Class Guild are really something, affirmed Sophia as she looked at one girl who is practicing at 16 times gravity and she is only at major stage. We looked around the gravity chamber for a while before going to another training facility which aids in making one reaction fast. One after another we kept checking training facilities and finally reached the skill hall where low, mid, high, and even peak level night grade skills are kept. Low grade skills are literally free, the mid ones do cost little but not much as high level skills, the only skills that are expensive is peak level night grade skills. If I had not seen occult method, I would have been very excited to see peak level skills here, but now, I am not that interested as the only thing that excites me are the occult method. Now, let's go see the best thing in this guild, the occult method. Let's go, said Sophia excitedly. She seemed as much as excited me as nearly started to run. Soon we reached the 5th floor as that is where the occult method is kept. When we got where the occult method is kept, we found half of the rookies that were in the hall with us already present there. We can't go inside the hall where occult skill is placed, but we can see it through the big mirror that separated the hall from outside. When I go near a mirror and looked inside the hall, I saw that 20-something people are staring at quite ugly painting with a singular focus. I was expecting some scroll or book but not an ugly painting. I am very confused about seeing that. Occult method is very different than skills, you can compare them to rule power. Every occult method is unique on their own and one can only learn them through comprehending them. Once you comprehend them, you can pass imprint that comprehension through any method. Be in writing, calligraphy, music, you can even imprint it on the rock with your sword strokes. It didn't matter in what way you can pass it, what matter is your comprehension, explained Reina in her melodious voice, seeing my confusion. Thanks. I said I had any confusion about it, but Reina's detailed explanation solved it all. Comprehension is necessary, but if one did have the ability to use it, then it all for naught. The occult method uses mysterious occult energy, and to use that occult energy one had to have strong soul power, physical strength and pure mana. One can forego these ways and use rule bottle method, in which one can encase occult energy with the protection of rule power, so all the 3 elements won't be needed. But my brother said that is extremely dumb method as one will not able to use rule power with occult skill, said Sophia. I am quite startled hearing her explanation. I had known from reading about the occult method that one need to strong soul energy, physical body, and pure mana, and thought if I am lacking any one of these, I could use rule bottle method. As from what I have read, it is said that rule bottle is safest, but I didn't think it poses such huge drawback. I will think about using the rule bottle method to host the occult energy into my body. Let's go, one last thing remaining to see, said Sophia as he dragged us toward another end of the 5th floor. What is there remaining to see? We have seen what is there to see in the guild, but when I saw the places Sophia is taking us and read the description that is projected, I have become startled. Isn't this only available in the central continent? I have searched about it on the web to see if it is available in the Fort Cavendish, but I did not get any result. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. You can get these things only in S-Class Guild, and you will not find its mention on the web till you have grade 7 access. Mana Transmutation Crystals or Mana Transmutation Method. What's shown in front of me is 12 fingernail size crystals. These crystals are known as Mana Transmutation Crystals. It is Mana Transmutation Crystal that are placed Jim, Jill, and other super elites to make them super elite. Their crystals help change property of the mana, and if one successfully refined the whole crystal in night stage, then his mana would successfully transmute in the flavor at that crystal. There are 12 crystals in front of me numbered 1 to 12 with their description and how powerful the transmutation crystal is. Number 1 is the weakest mana transmutation crystal, while number 12 is strongest transmutation crystal. The number 2 white color crystal is used by the most organization in the Republic to make their super elites. We were also transmuting our mana with the number 2 mana transmutation crystal, said Sophia as she looked at white color crystal. Chapter 378 Sylvian Ross. The number 2 white color crystal is used by the most organization in the Republic to make super elite. We were also transmuting our mana with, said Sophia as she looked at white color crystal. It is quite weak compared to the other 10 crystals that are in front of it, but if one wants this crystal, one will have to pay quite a price, especially for the top 3. Their price may not as expensive as occult method, but still, they are quite expensive, and I have to say, these crystals prove quite an augmentation to one's mana, but their requirements are also quite high. If someone asks me which crystal I want to augment in me, then it would be 9th crystal called Gistering Magma. It is best for those who had fire type ability. Currently, with my physique and mana purity, the highest crystal augment is 5th crystal. If I want to augment 6th crystal, then I will have 25 seals of supreme combat exercise. I want to change my crystal as brother did. Sophia said in a spoiled manner. Do you have enough points? Asked Reina in her melodious voice, which shut up dreamy-eyed Sophia immediately, but she didn't forget to stuck her tongue at her elder sister. We looked at the crystal for some, and before leaving the guild, as we toured everything that had to be toured, now it is time to leave. After saying goodbye to both sisters, I order a hover car for my apartment directly. When I reached my apartment, it was an early afternoon. I did not waste any time and started performing body cleansing technique and supreme combat exercise. I am very powered up today, seeing how powerful the members of the S-Class Guild are, and compared to them, my little bit of power is nothing. Due to me being pumped up, I was able to make progress again. Being tired, I slept after taking a shower. When I wake up in the evening, I felt fine except for feeling hungry, and because of that, I decided to make an early dinner. At night, I again practiced supreme combat exercise and body cleansing technique. I had already decided that I would practice body cleansing exercise daily, and when I am free I will do it twice. By doing this, not only I will able to level up quickly, but I also will strong and flexible body and strong mental energy. If I able to make constant progress in 2 things, then I am confident that my strength will rise exponentially, and I will also have the base to host the occult energy in my body if I able to comprehend the occult skill. More than an hour later, I finally finished doing both things and fell on the floor tiredly and slept a few seconds later on my own sweat on the floor. The next day, I woke up before dawn and started to make preparation, as I have to reach the guild at dawn. Everything is done very quickly, freshened up, showered and ate yesterday's leftovers before getting out of my apartment. When I got out of the apartment with Ashlyn, the sun had just started to rise. Seeing that, I heaved a sigh of relief and quickly get into the hover car. Soon the hover car stopped in front of the guild, and even this early, I could see the people going and coming. Though they are not as yesterday, they are still many. I had already received mail yesterday that I will go to room number 12 to meet my team leader and teammates. I walk into the guild and walk toward the room number 12. When I entered inside it, I found there is a handsome young man in his late teen already present. He is at captain stage and his battle power is strong enough to threaten me. Hello, I am Michael. I introduced myself, Ben, he replied with a single word. I nodded and didn't talk as it felt a little awkward. No one came for a few minutes before, but then the door of the room opened and two people walked in, a girl and boy, and took a seat not far from me. They both also in late teen and captain's stage. They both exclude strong battle power, stronger than Ben. Time ticked by and 10 minutes later, the door opened again, and this time to my great surprise it is Sophia and Reina. Michael, I didn't think we will be in the same team, said Sophia as she sat beside me with her sister Reina. Yeah, me too, I replied. There were near 100 rookies, the chances of us being in the team were not high. Now all the 6 people had already arrived. I wonder when our team leader will come. Click. Just as Sophia said that, the door opened and the young man late teen walked in, and to my surprise, I know him. It is the same boy who advised me to not look at the sign of lightning bolt for more than a minute. Hello, rookies, I am Sylvian Ross and I will be your team leader for 2 weeks, said Sylvian. To my surprise, I was not able to sense his stage or his battle power. Due to some, it was completely different from the vice guild leader yesterday. When I tried to sense her level yesterday, I felt it was immense, that I can't measure it, but I had received warning of threat from her and that it was paralyzing. But from our group leader I am feeling nothing. Whenever I tried to sense it with the intuition of killing rule, I felt something is block it. There is the only reason for this, that is rule power. It looked like the team leader had comprehended some rule power that able to block my intuition to sense the team leader's power. This is the first time I had come across the rule power that was able to block the sense of my killing rule. To block my killing rule sense, team leader rule is either second level or peak second level rule, and his comprehension of rule must be a lot higher than mine. Let's go. I already know all your details and you can get to know about each other when on the way, said team leader as he ushered us out of the guild. You all know skywalking skill, right? Asked team leader. We all nodded in unison. Good, now follow me, said the team leader, and he jumped in the air effortlessly. We all were dumbstruck for a while before we also jump off and started to follow the team leader on the air. The special privilege of S-Class Guild. Those from the S-Class Guild have the special privilege that they can walk on the air. Others only get this privilege when their access reaches level 7. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. I have been very jealous of this privilege when I saw people flying over the city, especially when they fly above the city gates, but not anymore, I thought as I looked at the city gates not far from us. Chapter 379, Madeline Swamp. I have been very jealous when I saw people flying over the city, but not anymore. Now people are jealous of me seeing me flying over the city. Look, I could even see some fellows down below, who are looking at me jealously, said Sophia laughingly. Snort, snorted Reina to sister's silly comments. I shook my seeing this. Ever since we started to walk on the air over the city, Sophia had been making such silly statements. She had even waved at the boy who was watching her from below. Soon we reached near the gate and walked over it without stooping under numerous jealous and admiring gazes of people. I am really walking over it, I thought as I walked over the city gates of Fort Cavendish. I have dreamed of doing this, and now I am doing this. Goodbye to the long lines at the city gates. We are going to Madeline Swamp. It is a famous rookie area and there are a lot of grim monsters found there to hunt. Team leader said as we crossed the city and entered the wasteland. Madeline Swamp. That area, I said out loud in my heart. Madeline Swamp is one of the most dangerous hunting ground for the rookies, and also it has one of the highest casualties of rookies found in that area. And the reason for that is those fucking Gatorman tribe and Snakeman tribe. The fuckers from these two tribes hide in the water and perform a sneak attack. It isn't that these are the only two most dangerous in the swamp. The Black Bearman tribe and few others are also dangerous, but these fuckers are very good at sneak attacks, and that is why they killed most people than other tribes. Isn't that hunting ground bit too dangerous, team leader? Asked Sophia. A little fear could be seen in her eyes. What is there to fear? It's just a swamp, and even if something dangerous comes up I am sure you guys will able to handle without a problem, said instructor carefreely. That's not reassuring at all, I said in my mind. If you had said if something dangerous, I will handle, then we would feel reassuring. We all stared at him, but he acted as he didn't notice anything and continued running toward the direction of the swamp. The Madeline Swamp spread in a very vast area, its area many times larger than the Saltines Hills, and probably that is one had a hard time coming across another human being in the Madeline Swamp, unlike Saltine Hills where one could easily find another human being within half an hour, and that also one of reason the Madeline Swamp is dangerous as one can't easily find help if one is in danger. We have come this far but you haven't introduced yourselves to your teammates? The team leader asked with his ever-casual tone. Richie, Emma, Ben, Sophia, Raina, Michael, one by one we all introduced ourselves, and I am finally able to know the name of the girl and body that came after me. Of all 7 people, Sylvian is strongest as he is not only our team leader and instructor but also he also strongest here despite being the same age as Richie, Emma, and Ben. Aside from the instructor, the strongest in our group are Emma them Richie. I and Ben have similar strength while Sophia and Raina are the weakest. We ran for about 1.5 when we finally saw swamp, and like all swamps, it also excludes gloominess despite having sufficient sunlight. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. Patch. We all landed on the water one by one and stood above it. Corporal stage and above can walk on the water easily, it's just mana manipulation. Alright, before going into the swamp, you all have to remember this one sign, he said, and then he performed thumbs down with his right hand. This means grim monsters and they could launch a sneak attack, he said, and we all looked at him dumbfoundedly. You could have used better hand sign than thumbs down, which usually means, not good. Seeing we all understood his intentions, he started on to move forward and we followed him behind him, ready for any attack that came in our way. As I walked with my teammates, I found this swamp silent and gloomy, though I have read about it but never experienced this sort of environment before. Even if Sardine Hills were silent, they were never gloomy like this. It's not like I have never hunted in the swamps before, but they were never this silent and gloomy that just being in the area will make one feel suffocated in such gloominess. Finally, after 10 minutes in the swamp, I felt faint killing intent through my killing rule just 2-meter distance from me. It looked like a little monster is hiding nearby, I thought. I did not react nor showed any obvious reaction, just continued to walk. First, I wanted to see if anyone in my group also had spotted it, and second, that it's just one monster of major stage which could be defeated by anyone here. We had just walked 2 steps when the team leader had taken out dart from his pocket and threw it at his left side without looking as he continues to walk as he did nothing. Just a moment after he threw lightning-charged dart, we heard a painful cry, and next second a yellow snake came out screaming with its whole skin charred while lightning keeps darting on it. It had screamed for a few seconds before it stopped as its body completely turned to ash. Not a single bone or flesh remained on it, everything burned to ash. We all watch with our mouth agape. What is this might? To be able to burn a major level grim race monster to ashes directly, I have never such immense might from anyone. This team leader is much stronger than I had estimated. Why are you all here standing for? Asked the team leader, only to see he had walked several meters ahead of us. Taking one last look at black ash that is floating on the water, we quickly follow the instructor. As we walked deeper into the swamp, the more monsters we came across, but all of them were killed by the instructor. And I am not very surprised to find that the team leader's senses were much stronger than mine, and I could only match him if I actively activate my killing rule. Team leader, why are you killing all grim race monsters? Aren't we supposed to fight them? Asked Sophia. God bless her. I and others thought this question arose in our mind also, but we didn't have guts ask, seeing him killing monsters as if killing mosquitoes that annoy us. These monster in group 1s and 2s didn't pose a challenge to you at all. Only fighting a big group of grim race monsters will pose any challenge to you and help your abilities improve. Said team leader as he casually threw another lightning-covered dart, and next moment we heard another painful scream, grim race monster, before it turned to ash, but this time we didn't spare a glance as it had become a common sight for us for the past hour. Chapter 380 Gatormen. The team leader took us deeper and deeper in order to find a group of grim race monsters that will fight us. We have once come across a group of 6 grim race monsters, but the team leader had turned them into ash, saying they are too few for us to pose any challenge. Till now the team leader has killed about 71 grim race monsters, and the majority of them were at the major stage. It has been 1.5 hours since we venture into the marsh, but till now we have not come across a big group of grim race monsters. Suddenly the instructor stopped, and a moment later I sensed multiple faint killing intent locked our group, and when I count that, there turned out to be a whopping 13 of them. Though many of them have varying battle power, one thing is common, that all of them at the major stage. There is one bad thing, that 2 of the 13 monsters here have similar battle power as the werewolf leader that I fought a few days ago, which means they definitely can call either spirit totem or can comprehend the team leader. Puts his thumb down and casual expression on his face turned little serious. Be ready to fight. There are 13 grim race monsters that will attack you all in few seconds, said instructor, and took a high jump at very fast speed, and in just a few seconds, he disappeared from our view. We all became confused about him leaving suddenly, and about to follow him. The grim race monsters came out of their hiding place, and they are from the Gatorman tribe. Looks like that brat sensed us and ran away before we could attack, said one Gatorman who had sickly white skin to his mates. No worries, the 5 of them are enough for us to have a light meal, another Gatorman said. I and Richie will handle 3 each. I will handle 2. I will also handle 2. We sisters will handle 3 together, said everyone one by after seeing Gatorman appear. After the instructor told us that he is going to find a big group for us to fight, we had made a plan that as soon as we come across the big group of grim race monsters, we will quickly decide how many grim monsters we are going to fight. And if any extra monster remains, then we will ask instructors to help us, but it looks like we can't rely on instructor now. If we have extra monster left in the next battle, then we will have to deal with it somehow. In this battle, we are quite fine, and if all goes well then we will be able to finish the battle within an hour. Juno, it looked like the tasty food think they can defeat us. One Gatorman asks other Gatorman beside him. These 2 tall Gatorman seem to the leaders of the group, as they are the 2 who are radiating highest battle power, and these 2 are the only ones talking while other Gatormen stood ready to attack us. Then we should quickly beat them and eat them while they are alive for their impudence. Attack them and let them see the might of our white Gatorman tribe, said Big Gatorman, and as he said that all the Gatormen came attacking us holding big sawtooth blades. It's like they are following our arrangement. At 2 groups of 3 Gatormen attacked Richie and Emma, while 2 Gatormen came attacking me and Ben, while 3 gone for Sophia and Emma. It was a good thing that 2 leaders of the Gatormen had gone for Emma and Richie. Sensing their battle power, I know that they could easily able to handle 2 Gatormen. Hee hee, little snack, after we beat you till you can't remember your name, we will be going to eat you piece by piece while you are alive, said Gatorman as he attacked me with his partner. Find authorized novels and web novel faster updates. Better experience, please click www.novelhall.com for visiting. I had already taken out my sword and shield while activating whole 100% of Sunfire when I sensed the grim race monster hiding nearby. Don't worry, I'll make sure both of you are alive when I harvest mana crystals from your bodies, I replied tauntingly, and as the expected hearing mention of the runic disc. Clank. Clank. Both my sword and shield clashed against their sawtooth blades, and I felt force traveling from my arms into my body, but it was vaporized by the sunfire that is present in my body. Though these Gatormen are 2 our major stage, these are just normal Gatorman. They are not the elite like the one I faced a few days ago and their 2 leaders. A normal elite grim race monster is comparable to 3 to 4 normal grim race monsters of the same, so despite me fighting 2 Gatorman at the same time, I am not feeling as much pressure as I felt when I fight against the elite grim race monster. My sunfire power would be enough to handle these 2 Gatormen that I am fighting. Pashak. Clank. Yes. I said out loud in my mind as I was able to hit the Gatorman just minute within starting the fight. Though the injury is normal, could be healed within a minute by the immense vitality that grim race possesses, but still it is an accomplishment by me. It is probably due to battles I fought with the grim race monsters, as all the grim race monsters I had fought, all of them were the elite excluding the 2 from Featherman race, but they didn't count as they ran away. I had gotten used to fighting the elite grim race monsters that fighting these 2 seem very normal to me, and I think I will be able to finish the fight in much less time I had predicted a moment ago. You food, said both of Gatorman in unison, seeing my attack perfectly landing on them and increased the intensity of their attack. Clank clank clack. I effortlessly countered their intense attack with mine and started to find the chance to attack. This time I had set up a new target that is beat this monster soon as possible. The minute hadn't passed and I found another chance and I took, but who have thought that seeing my blade coming toward it, would take a step back to dodge my attacks instead of countering my attack. Seeing that, instantly used the speed skill that already been activated since the start of the battle. I flicked my blade little and used all the power of sunfire that I had in this attack. Slash. A slashing sound came and blood turned into the fog as sunfire rule started to infiltrate it. It won't die from this attack, but with this attack, it was nothing more than a dead dog. I would have liked to watch what happened to it, but I can't as a sawtooth blade of other Gatorman coming toward it. This other Gatorman is quite selfish. It would have been able to save its mate from that life-threatening blow of mine if it had intervened, but it did not. It sacrificed its mate so it could get a chance to attack, which it going regret this very next second. Clank. Poochie. I defended its sawtooth blade with my shield and used my sword pierce its neck.